Hey guys, happy Thanksgiving. And I just got back from a cardio session, which I typically do every morning. Um, and I wanted to share with you guys because I thought it was important. I was thinking about it this morning. How you can incorporate cardio into a muscle building routine. Because I know a lot of you guys like to stay away from cardio to maximize muscle building, but there's a way you can do it that should help build muscle. And we all know that cardio is good for your health, right? Your cardiovascular system. So, of course, as bodybuilders, we want to build muscle, but we don't want to sacrifice health, right? So, here's some of the big things that you should learn and how to practice cardio to make sure you maximize muscle growth, but you also get the benefits in terms of improving your health. Number one, we don't want to burn muscle, right? We want to build muscle. Now, these are the things in terms of cardio that will influence whether you're burning muscle or not. Number one is the duration of the cardio. So anything that is fairly intense, that is over an hour, of course, you get into 2 hours, 3 hours, it's even worse. Will start to shift focus to burning a little bit more of the energy pool from amino acids, which will come from your muscle tissue. So, number one is we want to keep the cardio sessions fairly short. And when I say fairly short, I'm speaking as a former endurance athlete. Keep him an hour or less. Okay. Number two, your carbohydrate status is going to affect how much protein you burn. So the more carbohydrate fed you are, the more stable your blood sugar is, the more glycogen that is in your muscles, the less likely it is that you're going to use protein as a fuel source. So now you're saying, well, you're doing fasted cardio in the morning. So I'm doing fasted cardio in the morning. And when you're doing fasted cardio, provided the fast isn't for days or anything like that, your muscles, for example, provided you're regularly eating carbohydrate every day, your muscles will be full of glycogen. Your liver, on the other hand, will not be full of glycogen. So what's going to happen is that depending on the exercise intensity, your muscles, so for example, let's say you do a stationary bike fasted in the morning, your muscles are going to use a mixture of fat or the glycogen that is stored in them. Now, how much glycogen, how much fat are they going to use is going to be dependent primarily on the intensity level. So, and then secondarily, the duration. There is a phenomenon called fat max, and that is most people's maximal burning ability of fat occurs about at 60% Vo2 max. So 100% Vo2 max is your maximal aerobic capacity, and about 60% of that is where you're burning a lot of fat. And anything over that, your body starts to shift to using dramatically more carbohydrates. Now, when you start to use dramatically more carbohydrates in a fasted state, your body's going to use more glycogen that's stored in its muscles. And then obviously as those deplete, you're going to turn to protein as a fuel source. So depending on the intensity and the duration of the activity, you can do fasted cardio, no problem. Now, I like to keep it around 60% VO2 max to maximize my fat burning, right, without depleting those glycogen stores, which if the cardio is long enough, could theoretically affect your the burning of muscle tissue, right? So now the next question you guys are asking is, well, where is 60% VO2 max? If I go to the gym, how do I know I'm at 60% VO2 max? Well, 66, this is the way I do it, and this is conservative. Using go to about two-thirds of your maximal heart rate. So for example, if you have 180 beats per minute maximum heart rate, you're going to want to exercise at around 120. That's going to put you in the fat burning zone. So what you're going to require is a heart rate monitor. And if you want to test your maximum heart rate, it's pretty simple. Get on an exercise machine and gradually, let's say every minute. No, I would just do it every 3 minutes to make sure we're at steady state. I would say every 3 minutes, ramp up the intensity of the exercise until you stop or you quit. You can't go any longer. At that point, you should be right at or very near your maximum heart rate. And you can use that as the value. So that's one way to do it. That's how we do it when we do ramp tests. That's how they do it when they do cardiac stress tests. When you're cardiologist, if they ever do a stress test on you, that's how they do it. They ramp up the speed on the treadmill until you hit your max and you essentially fatigue and quit. So that's one way you can check your maximum heart rate. The other way is to use the age-old formula, which is 220 minus your age, right? No pun intended. So if you're 20 years old, your theoretical maximum heart rate would be 220 minus your age, which would be 200. Okay. Now, I'm 48. My maximum heart rate is around 180, a little over 180. So it's not a perfect formula, right? Because I know my maximum heart rate. So use a heart rate monitor to go to the gym, ramp it up to that intensity level. You're going to be burning a lot of fat, more calories than if you were just walking, right? And not going to be in any danger of burning muscle tissue for a long period of time. Now, how can cardio actually enhance muscle building? So after you do a cardio session, your body and your muscles, particularly, let's say you did stationary bike, right? Your legs are active. What happens is right after that, your muscles are very sensitive to refueling. That means carbohydrates, filling them up with carbohydrates. That means filling them up with amino acids to rebuild that muscle tissue. So cardio can actually enhance nutrient uptake into your muscles depending on which muscles you work, right? If you wanted to do your upper body and enhance nutrient reuptake with your upper body, then get on the elliptical, right? That works your arms and your legs, and that can enhance nutrient uptake. The other thing, which is really important, which a lot of people don't understand, is that the effect in terms of the indirect effect is that when you do cardio, right, you understand that it's going to improve your cardiovascular capacity and your aerobic capacity. Well, how that benefits you in terms of muscle building is it improves your ability to do a certain number of sets in a lesser amount of time. And then essentially the time between sets is influenced by your aerobic capacity and your cardiovascular fitness. So unless you have unlimited time to spend at the gym, if you have a better cardiovascular system, you will be able to recover faster in between sets and do more volume in a given amount of time. And let's be honest, what's the number one variable that is manipulated in a muscle building program? And that is volume. All right. So that's why, not only helps you with your nutrient uptake, helps you do more sets in a given amount of time. And lastly, I certainly don't want to not mention the effect on metabolic health. So by do cardiovascular training, it improves what's called insulin sensitivity. Insulin is an anabolic hormone, and while that might sound great, it also influences inflammation in your body. And this inflammation can wind up causing things such as cardiovascular disease. So, also having elevated insulin levels can wind up increasing your risk for type 2 diabetes. Both of those things are known killers, right? They kill a lot of people. I believe cardiovascular disease is still number 1, and I think diabetes is number 3, right, behind cancer. And we can also, there is some research that suggests that inflammation is a potent trigger of cancer, and that's the number 2 killer, right? So if we can lower our insulin levels in our body by increasing our body's sensitivity to insulin, okay, in other words, our bodies don't have to make as much insulin to do the same job because they're more sensitive to it, that is also a benefit towards health. So hopefully this video has helped you guys think about how you can incorporate small amounts of cardio in your routine. You don't have to do marathons every day to actually improve your health, right? And not only improve your health, but as bodybuilders, what we're all looking for, and that is building muscle tissue. All right, if you have any questions, leave it in the space below. I'll be sure and answer them. But I just wanted to share this little tidbit because, as you know, my channel is about safer and healthier bodybuilding. And I want everybody to be safe and healthy and still do the sport we love. All right, bye. Have a great Thanksgiving.